Tonight, routine works by SA Water turns into a crime scene after human bones were discovered in a Port Lincoln street. And abandoned homes to be flattened and removed after years of lead contamination near the Port Pirie smelter.
From our 7 Spencer Gulf Studios, your nightly news with Madeline Kerr begins now.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. A crime scene is in place tonight after bones, believed to be human, were found during routine works by SA Water. SAPOL is yet to determine their origins. Henry Millick has more.
What started off to be a regular day for SA Water workers soon turned out to be a shock of a lifetime after they dug up bones around 11 a.m. this morning. Police have since confirmed they found multiple bones which are believed to be human. Concerned pedestrians eager to get a glance at the scene on Edinburgh Street while police and SES crews barricaded the area off to the public. Crime investigators were also in attendance, uncovering what is alleged to be human remains. The scene taking place at the front of what will soon become a new brewery, with construction work already underway. SA Water employees putting their tools down, stunned at their findings. An SA Water spokesperson has come out consolidating their workers through a statement which reads, "A range of support services are available to our people, and we encourage local teams and our contract partners to access these if the matter has raised any concerns for them." It didn't stop some workers from going about their day, but it has definitely shaken up the township, leaving many wanting answers. As the sun sets on Port Lincoln tonight, police will continue to uncover how these bones ended up on this quiet street.
Henry, thank you. Several years ago, Port Pirie residents were forced to leave their homes due to high levels of lead in their suburb. Now, action is being taken, with demolition works beginning along the abandoned stretch.
What was once a thriving neighbourhood, now the local eyesore. These lead and asbestos-ridden homes in Port Pirie West are abandoned, left to rot.
Many years ago, Council made the decision in conjunction with SA Health and also with Near Star, or it was in effect at the particular time, that there would be no more residential activity north of Frederick Road.
Houses were originally built here because of their close proximity to the smelter, making it a convenient location for workers. What they didn't know at the time was the increasing lead pollution would make these dwellings inhospitable. Now, plans are in place to demolish the contaminated properties and revitalise the land they once stood on.
What I would like to see is this has become a renewable energy project behind us, being used for solar panels or something to that effect. Ideal location, very close to the smelters, could feed directly into the smelters.
Just last week, work began on dismantling the abandoned houses, made tricky due to the asbestos-laden insulation. In the meantime, security measures will be put in place to corner off the area from the general public to deter antisocial behaviour and illegal dumping.
Then there'll be no houses in there, there'll be no activity from people going in there, and then in the long term we'll look at the opportunity for further use of this particular area, because it's a fairly big area behind us here.
Ultimately, Near Star, Port Pirie Council and the state government will decide the location's fate. Annabelle Francis, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Port Augusta stakeholders have vented their frustration at Skills SA as the city grapples with improving employment opportunities for the younger generations. They're calling for more regional and local approach to career pathways, as at the moment, decisions are being made in Adelaide.
Skills SA came to Port Augusta this week with representatives from TAFE, UniHub, Centrecare and the City Council voicing their opinions of the state government's skills plan. The stakeholders say there is too much decision-making being done in Adelaide, and the ones giving the go-ahead aren't taking into account the true local demands and the needs of those living in Port Augusta.
I'm taking away that you've got some really passionate stakeholders in Port Augusta, and you're really passionate about creating local skills for local people. It's about local decision making. It's about building the skills in building that homegrown talent.
With no university campuses in the Spencer Gulf, local stakeholders are also calling for more uni hubs in our region. The vision statement in the concept plan has been criticised as vague, lacking substance and containing mothering language.
a vision statement is always high level, and there is a sense of motherhood potentially that can be taken from a vision statement, but it's about the actions we put into place on the ground.
Further feedback included the need for more training, careers advice, and a wide variety of services for employment, learning and job opportunities. Daniel Pizzaro, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
A new arts and cultural hub will be built in Wilcannia next year. The Barker Cultural Centre will showcase the best artists the Far West has to offer.
Wilcannia and surrounds is set to give Broken Hill a run for its money in the art space, with the Barker Cultural Centre to be built in 2023, and it's a long time coming.
Yeah, so I guess that's one of the things, is that it's been sort of so long in the making of it starting off, but all things are go now, so I think it'll be sort of early next year. We actually put a shovel into the ground.
There is an air of excitement from not only artists, but the rest of the community as well.
A lot of enthusiasm. We've got lots of great talented artists in Wilcannia itself, as well as Barkenji people from around the region.
The recent Market Day, as well as the next one on December 17, are also designed to show off some of the art the centre will display.
There's a lot stashed in houses, so that's where the Barker Cultural Centre will just be a marvellous avenue for them to be showing off their culture and their talent and their artwork.
The centre will not only be a place to see artwork, but also a place to learn about the culture and hear stories of the Far West.
Absolutely. It's not just going to be about static displays of artwork. There's also going to be cultural education and dance.
Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
The Tamborine Bay Community Working Group has issued its second update, revealing their online survey has received almost 800 responses. The group says the state government is working on its jetty's business case, which looks at the future of the Tamborine Jetty. Furthermore, Council has approved the repairs, aiming for a partial reopening as soon as possible. The member for Flinders, Sam Telfer, will go on to table the jetty petition in Parliament. Still to come tonight, Port Augusta Golf Club ramp up their environmental efforts and making one of the Steel City's favourite tourist attractions even safer. Welcome back. This year's Christmas holidays will be restriction-free, a luxury we weren't afforded last year, with many stuck at home due to the pandemic. Now, many Spencer Gulf residents are opting to travel this festive season. However, experts are encouraging locals to have their health records up to date before hitting the road.
It's about that pre-planning. As I said, talk to your GP, make sure everything's uploaded. But also, too, during this period, look, not everyone's as fortunate, say, as us. I mean, I get to spend this period over Christmas with my family. A lot of people are on their own. There's a lot of mental health problems. Make sure you have someone that you can talk to.
You can access your My Health record through your MyGov account. Port Augusta Golf Club has embarked on a massive tree expansion plan to reduce the organisation's carbon footprint. Hundreds of trees and other vegetation will be planted thanks to a sponsored grant.
A planting ceremony fit for royalty, or in this case, a proud sponsor of the Port Augusta Golf Club. The symbolic starting of a major native botanical expansion across the golf course, with over 300 native trees being planted.
Course manager is quite experienced in native vegetation, and we've been quite particular to choose species that are endemic to the area, grow naturally.
The project will not only reduce the club's carbon footprint, but also create more ground stability by reducing the likelihood of erosion, dust storms and sand being kicked into the air.
So it's never nice sort of playing when there's, getting sand blasted, so this will sort of help reduce that problem and provide a little bit of shade. And of course, trees also have another important function, and that's to put oxygen in the air and take carbon dioxide out.
Nexif Energy provided the funds for the project through a company grant.
Augusta Golf Club put in an application to our community sponsorship program for $5,000, and we were able to contribute the full $5,000 so that they could do their full program in this round.
A new irrigation system has also been installed to water the new plants, with the project scheduled to be completed next year. though the trees themselves will take a bit longer to reach their full heights. Daniel Pizarro, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
As part of the Whyalla Council's multi-stage project to restore the RMS Wawa, the ship's top deck has received repairs and a new non-slip walkway. The council says the new additions increase safety in commonly used areas, especially in wetter conditions. Work on the upper deck have also now begun and should be completed over the next month. Council says interruptions to the RMS Wawa ship tours should be minimal. Stay with us after the break. The end of an era for the heartbeat of Port Pirie and what's happening at Broken Hill PCYC over the summer holidays. Welcome back. Heartbeat Assistant Group has flatlined, shutting up shop after 4 decades of service. The group has been operating since 1981 and donated over $400,000 worth of equipment to the local hospital.
All good things must come to an end. That's the case for Port Pirie's Heartbeat branch, opting to close due to an ageing committee and a lack of office space. But after decades of raising money to help those in need, Heartbeat's impact will continue to be felt.
They're mainly as an organisation to assist people that used to have to steal the big zipper, which doesn't happen anymore these days.
John said it used to take people up to 3 months to recover and rehabilitate from cardiac surgery, and their organisation would provide assistance in any way they could.
Early in the years they used to do a lot of barbecues, and they used to attend the Christmas pageant and have a barbecue there. Also they had some fashion parades.
The organisation has donated close to $500,000 worth of equipment to the hospital and recently supplied St John with a new resuscitation mannequin.
Yeah, we work well together because we're working for a good cause anyway.
Close friendships have been made over the years and the group will continue to catch up regularly. Annabelle Francis, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
If you live in Broken Hill and are looking for something to keep the kids occupied with this summer, PCYC has you covered. From sport to arts and craft and everything in between, parents and guardians are sure to find something their kids will enjoy.
There will be plenty to do once school is over for the year, with the PCYC resurrecting an old favourite.
So we've got the cemented bike track, which has our giveaway signs and our road lights. Just something to open up for the kids so they can come and learn how to ride safely.
To take part in the fun, parents will need to sign their children up as members. And for those wanting to do arts and crafts, bookings are essential.
But we do like them to be members, and then to book in for arts and crafts, they will need to book in for that. But for our youth room and our bike track, they don't need to book in.
The USH childcare will still be running during the holidays, but Fit for Life will end when the school term does.
So that first Wednesday that school goes back, we'll return with that program.
The PCYC is doing something special this Christmas. They're holding family Christmas light tours next week, so families can enjoy the lights around the city.
There's lots of families that don't probably get to do it together because mum or dad are driving, and so I just figured let's give it a go and see what happens.
For more information about any of the programs, you can contact the PCYC or look up their Facebook page. Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
The cut-off date for Christmas presents to be sent through the mail is fast approaching. South Australians need to get their parcels in by Monday if they want them to be delivered to loved ones before Christmas Day. For those vying for more time, Australia Post also offers express postage service with a Christmas cut-off on the 19th of this month. Users are encouraged to organise their posts now to avoid disappointed faces on the big day. Stay with us after the break. Rat, kingfish, crabs and whiting. Our resident fishers reveal what's biting and where. And it's been a weird summer so far. We'll have the weather details with Alex Sykes. Welcome back. For the final time this year, our fishing experts across the Spencer Gulf have compiled for us their tips for wetting a line this weekend. And the whole gang's here today. Let's start with Port Augusta's Aaron Morgan.
G'day and welcome to this week's fishing tips from Port Augusta, Jewel of the North. Well, the kingfish is still hanging around and they're quite large as well. They actually seem to get a little bit larger but a little bit less in numbers. There is a big school swimming around up around the top of the Gulf as well. Hanging around those schools there is at least another shark, a little bit smaller than the last one. I was picking up some crab nets. They have been getting some good crabs around Dick's Hole further up the Gulf where the power or the transmission lines go across the Gulf and a little bit further down as well. Silver whiting can be caught out in those middle banks on the low tides, even down to about 10-15 centimetres of water. Salmon up and around the creeks in Port Patterson, right around the Chinaman's Creek, and they're getting a couple of snook on the troll as well. That's all we have from the Jewel of the North.
Welcome another week around the Gulf fishing tips. Crab time, it's absolutely starting to crank up, isn't it? Port Augusta's running pretty hot at the moment with just by the power station wall. We've been talking checker buoy over the last couple of weeks for our blue swimmer crabs, but I do believe they're in a bit closer at the moment. If you try the third creek patches, you should be able to work some. All of those guys that are still chasing the last of the King George whiting, head towards Port Davis, just go out a bit further deeper from the mouth into the cooler water. You should be able to pick up a feed, not a quota, but a feed as well. So when we're starting to talk around that horseshoe area, that we've seen some King George whiting just hanging around there in the berryweed. So if you want to have a look at that as well, I think that might produce some good sized fish for you, but again, you won't get big numbers.
Hi, Whalers fishing tips this week, land-based from Whyalla, the local jetty. It's been quite surprising in the windy afternoons. There's been a couple of really nice sized bronze whaler sharks being hooked off the end of the jetty. So for those that are wanting to chase the bigger species, get up there, put a big balloon out and a big bait, and I'm sure you might be lucky. Also across Whyalla land-based, the Point Lowly area is holding fantastic numbers of garfish. There's been garfish captured most areas around Point Lowly, even further down towards Becky Point. There is also still a few silver whiting holding up along the foreshores at the local beach. For the boat anglers, still a couple of yellowtail kingfish getting caught. There's also been some nice garfish caught in most of the grounds right across Whyalla.
G'day and welcome to Fishing Tips in Port Lincoln. We'll start over the Coffin Bay side, and we've had some good tuna reports coming through over the past week. Only small fish at this stage, but still a good sign that fish are moving down. The farm beach grounds have been producing a few whiting, a bit of a mix of sizes with some undersized fish mixed in there, but yeah, there's still some fish through those grounds. There's also a few garfish and a few squid through the area, and also a few little rat kingfish in the 50 to 70 centimetre size. We'll move over to the Lincoln side. There's been some whiting caught locally in our bays, especially down in Proper, but most guys are moving around a fair bit to find the little patches of whiting. Also in our local bays, the crabs are starting to move in. Still pretty thin at the moment, but a few crabs have been caught. Well, that's all for fishing tips this year. Wishing everyone safe fishing and boating over the Christmas period, and we'll see you all again next year.
Some solid tips as always, and a big thank you to all of our fishing experts for their contribution to our bulletin in 2022. We'll see you next year, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. But time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather with Alex Sykes. Alex, a bit cold in some places this morning.
Indeed, Maddie, it was. Just 4 degrees in Woodner this morning. It's hard to believe just a few days ago, the overnight low was 22 degrees. Despite a chilly morning, Woodner warmed up to 26 degrees. Cleve reached 20 and it was 29 degrees in Cooper Pedy at 4 p.m. Looking more broadly at today's weather map now, 25 in Port Augusta and Port Pirie, 22 in Broken Hill, just 18 degrees in Port Lincoln. Taking a look at the satellite image now, a high pressure system south of Kangaroo Island is moving east and will weaken later in the week, while a low pressure trough will develop near the western border later tomorrow. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. Easterly winds 15 to 20 knots, seas will be 1 to 1.5 metres, and south to southwesterly swell also 1 to 1.5 metres. Cloud clearing around Port Lincoln tomorrow, set to reach a high of 24 degrees. 29 the top in Cleve, warmer in Woodner, 34 degrees there. Cloud clearing and 29 degrees in Whyalla. Port Augusta will get to around 31 degrees with cloud clearing as well, between 11 and 29 in Kadina. Mostly sunny and set to reach a high of 30 degrees in Port Pirie on Friday. Clare sunny and 25, partly cloudy around Broken Hill, 24 degrees. Taking a look further through the week now, starting with Saturday, a very warm 42 degrees in Pirie, 39 in Port Augusta, 38 in Woodna and Whyalla, a sunny top of 33 in Port Lincoln. Moving on to Sunday's forecast, possible showers across the majority of our map, except for Woodna and Pirie, 24 in Whyalla and Port Pirie, a muggy 35 degrees for Broken Hill. And finally, taking a quick look at Monday's outlook, cloudy conditions in most of the Spencer Gulf townships, temperatures ranging between 19 on the low end and 32 degrees on the high end. And Maddie, as Eddie said a little earlier in the bulletin, Monday is the cut-off day for sending Christmas presents via Australia Post. Don't forget to do that. I'll see you a little later with an update. It's back to you.
Thanks for that, Alex. And that's the local news this Thursday. I'm Madeline Kerr. From all of us here, thanks for joining us. I'll have updates a little later, but until then, enjoy your evening. Our final bulletin of the year is tomorrow night. Good night.